Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir.
You come this way. Good morning. If you would please introduce yourself and spell your name for us.
My name is Deputy Nathaniel Jones, Nathaniel Jones.
Thank you, Deputy. Deputy, how are you employed?
I am employed with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office.
What is your job at the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office?
I am a law enforcement deputy.
Okay. Do you have any specific duties there as a member of the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office?
I am assigned to District 1 Patrol.
All right. And as part of a patrol, you go out and you respond to scenes, you pull over traffic infractions, that sort of thing. Is that right?
Correct.
All right. What was your position back on August 29th of 2022?
I was in the same capacity as a patrol deputy.
How long have you been working with the Sheriff's Office at that time?
At that time, roughly 1 year.
All right. Prior to that, had you had any law enforcement training or experience?
No.
Okay. Now, did you receive a call to respond out to a scene on Heritage Club Drive?
Yes.
And what did you believe you were responding to?
I believed it was a 911 emergency call. The details of the call weren't, to my knowledge, given because of the open line status of the caller.
Okay. But you knew you were responding to shots being fired?
Yes.
Okay. And were you one of the first units on the scene?
Correct.
When you pulled up, did you see anyone as you were walking up?
Yes.
What did you see?
I seen as I was driving up to the residence, I seen a male who was pointing in the direction of the residence, trying to guide me to the correct residence.
Okay. And then what did you see when you got to the residence?
Once I got to the residence, I seen a female exit the residence and approach me as I got out of my vehicle.
Okay. Did you have any involvement with her?
Yes. I had asked her, she volunteered the information that her...
Objection, hearsay.
Judge, he's just arriving on scene. And she's in, well, what was her,
Establish a predicate.
yes. What was her demeanor at that time? What was her behavior like?
She was frantic.
Okay. And did she appear to be under an emotional stress of what had happened?
Correct.
Judge, I believe this would be considered an excited utterance.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay. And so as you approached her, what was going on?
She was telling me that her son had been shot.
Okay. And what did you do when she said that? What did you do?
I tried to get information as to who had shot her son, and if the person who had shot her son was still within the area.
Okay. And did she respond to you?
She was very frantic, but she just kept saying, "My son, my son, my son."
Okay. And did you go into the scene, into the apartment?
I did. I made that decision once I realized I wasn't gonna get any additional information to try and clear the scene.
All right. And were you one of the first ones into the apartment?
That is correct.
All right. And did you come with your guns drawn?
That is correct.
All right. What did you see when you went into the residence?
As I entered the front door of the residence, I seen a gentleman, adult male, and a juvenile male sitting on the living room couch.
Okay. Who all entered the residence with you at that time?
Deputy White and myself were the first to enter the residence.
All right. After seeing that male holding his son, what did you do at that point?
I asked him if there was anyone else in the residence. I realized it was a two-story residence, so for safety of the deputies and everyone else, I asked if there was anyone else within the residence.
And what was his response?
He said no.
Okay. And then what did you do?
I then took the decision to clear the upstairs floor of that residence.
All right. And so where did you go at that point?
I walked up the stairs and I seen that there were multiple bedrooms within the second floor, and me and Deputy White cleared the 2 bedrooms on the second floor.
And which bedroom did you clear?
I cleared the master bedroom first, along with the bathroom that was on that side of the upstairs floor.
All right. After clearing the master bedroom, what did you do?
I walked back to Deputy White's position where he was positioned near the children's bedroom, and I entered the children's bedroom along with Deputy White.
All right. And what did you see in the children's bedroom?
I seen bunk beds, and on the top bunk bed, we located a victim.
All right. What was this victim? What does she look like?
The juvenile female victim.
Okay, so little girl.
Yes, sir.
And what was her condition that you saw when you first saw her?
When I first saw her, she was laying on her side, facing towards the inward of the bedroom, and she had what appeared to myself to be a gunshot wound to the head.
Were you wearing a body-worn camera on this day?
I was.
All right. Showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 5. It's already been admitted into evidence. Did you review that video?
I did.
And is that video a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw when you went in on that day?
Yes.
All right. Does it publish at this time?
Yes.
Judge, just renewing again any evidence or testimony based on.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Who shot him? It was the gun. It was the gun. It was the gun.
Did he shoot himself?
No, he did not. Hey, the gun went off. I need my son.
The ambulance is on the way.
Well, can you
Stay outside.
hurry up?
Stay outside.
Hurry up.
Sheriff's office. How many people are inside?
Come in. Come in.
Second, I'm gonna go around the corner. Is there anybody upstairs? Is there anybody upstairs? No. Hey, can you see over there? We'll clear up here. I'm gonna hook around this corner, go out there. Sheriff's office, anyone upstairs? This is clear back here. You see a firearm?
Sweetie!
Oh. Hey, we got another one up here. What the? There's a child up here. Signal 0, gunshot wound. That's clear. Let me grab my med bag.
Wait a second.
Hey, see the fire still up there with her? She's still breathing. Start holding breath till we go on med. Yeah, we're gonna get her down. She's breathing. Where's that? There's a shell right here. I don't see it as signal 0.
Deputy, a couple of questions about that. So when the video starts, there's no sound to it. Is that common when these body-worn cameras?
That is correct. There is a buffering period prior to activation there's no audio.
So it's like the first minute when the camera comes on, there's a where
Prior to the activation, there's no audio. So there will be video, but there will be no audio until I physically activate it myself.
Okay. Now, when you the signal 0 you all are talking about, what is that?
We're referring to a weapon. In this case, we're referring to a firearm.
So when they keep saying or check for signal 0, you're talking about looking for basically the firearm, right?
The weapon used.
The weapon use, correct. All right. Now, the body-worn camera shuts off right there. At that point in time, what do?
From the end of the video, my body camera does continue to roll, but however, you're referring to
What you did
Okay.
after that point?
After that point, I pulled the victim closer towards the middle to the bed where I could, easily reach her. Once she was towards the middle of the bed, I physically picked her up, and then I placed her on the bedroom floor in an effort to begin to render aid to the victim.
Okay. And so you were the one who actually physically got her off of that bed and put her down on the floor to give aid to her, correct?
That is correct.
And did Deputy White actually come back with the med bag?
Yeah, Deputy White returned with his medical bag, and I used some of the gauze that was within his medical bag to apply pressure to some of her wounds that were on her head.
All right. And did ultimately the paramedics arrive and take her?
That is correct.
All right. After the paramedics arrived and took the little girl, what was your assignment at that point?
I had went outside. My vehicle was the closest vehicle to the residence front door. Therefore, I was tasked with putting the defendant within my vehicle and holding him there.
All right. And what was his demeanor while in your patrol car?
He was calm within the back of my patrol car. We conducted a pat down on him prior to putting him in the patrol car, and he was compliant with us.
Okay. What else did you do in the investigation?
I maintained the integrity of the crime scene log until I was relieved.
Okay, and what does that mean when you talk about maintaining the integrity of a crime scene log?
We log everybody who had entered the crime scene and left the crime scene while we were on scene at that time for the crime until I'm relieved.
So by this point in time, you all had put up that yellow tape that you all put up?
That is correct. The tape had already been put up by the time I went back outside.
Okay, and it's your job at that point just to document who comes inside that tape and who doesn't. Right? Well, not who doesn't, but who comes inside that tape, correct?
Yeah, who comes in and then leaves as well.
All right, and you did that until you were relieved of your duty on that day?
Until I was relieved the next morning at the end of my shift.
Okay, so you were there for a while?
I was there till the end of my shift the next morning, yep.
Okay. One moment, Your Honor. Judge, I'll pass the witness at this time.
All right.
Good afternoon, Deputy Jones. How are you?
I'm doing well.
All right, I just have some few additional questions for you. At the beginning of the body cam, we understand you have that time period where you're always, that's policy, how you're always going to have that off, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you guys, you know, don't, what is it, like a minute, that's standard that you do not record?
Prior to activation. There's a buffering
Right.
period, yes.
Right, okay. And everybody does that, there's no issue with that, correct?
Is there an issue with my camera buffering?
No, there's no issue with the fact that you don't hear anything for the first minute or so, correct? That's typical.
It can be, yeah.
Okay, all right. All right, and when you first go to the residence, the door was cracked, was it not? It was not completely open, but kind of cracked open, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And I could hear somebody saying, come in to you. That's going to be Mr. Bass, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you said that somebody waved you down, some sort of male is trying to help you get to the scene where you were supposed to be, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And that's because you didn't even have an apartment number in the call, is that right?
To my knowledge, yes.
Okay. And you indicated about the female that you talked to. You tried to talk to her, but she wasn't very helpful to you, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you asked her numerous times who shot your child, and she never answered that question, correct?
Correct.
Now, Mr. Bass was cooperative with you during the time you had contact with him, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and he's going to be in your patrol vehicle for some period of time before he is transferred to another patrol vehicle. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. And you had never met him before, correct?
That is correct.
And there wasn't any noticeable behavior. He was very quiet. Is that fair?
Yes.
And you're actually going to be the first deputy to enter that townhome, correct?
Yes.
I wanted to ask you about your comment about Mr. Bass when you asked, is anybody upstairs? And he says, no one. As you're entering the residence, who are you with? What deputy is with you?
I believe Deputy White was behind me.
So you're with Deputy White, and you remember Mr. Bass, and we hear on the body cam, he says no. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. And that is something that you did not document in your police report. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And your reports, you want them to be accurate and detail things you might have seen and heard, correct?
Yes.
Right. Especially from somebody who's being charged with a homicide, correct? You want to make sure you're documenting.
Yes.
Okay. So you're pretty quick, are you not, when you walk past Mr. Bass? You're not standing there to talk to him. You actually never stop walking and just walk past him to go upstairs, correct?
Yes.
And Deputy White is behind you, correct?
Yes.
So if Deputy White had heard something in addition to that, you may not have heard it, right?
That's correct.
Right,
Yep.
okay. All right, may I have a moment? Deputy Jones, thank you very much. We don't have any further questions for you.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you can step down. Thank you. Is he released from his subpoena?
I'm gonna stay yes, sir.
Yes, Judge, he's released.
All right, thank you. Approach the bench for a minute. It's 12:15. I will see you back here at 1:15. Same admonition, no discussion about the case, no investigation. Enjoy your lunch.
All rise.
Judge, you told them to break until when?
1:15. All right, if you just restate your name for the record, please.
Deputy Adam Rahman, R-A-H-M-A-N.
Thanks.
Deputy Rahman, we, on your direct and cross, we established you were in training that day, so you're pretty much under the supervision of Deputy Rainey. Is that fair?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And Deputy Rainey is in fact asking questions to Mr. Bass, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And when you finally read Miranda at a later point, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you read Miranda when Deputy Rainey directed you to read it, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And Deputy Rainey directed you to read Miranda at the point that you did due to the fact that you had found another gunshot wound victim upstairs, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
That was it? Anything? Okay.
Well, just,
Oh.
Deputy Rahman, you're assuming that's why he asked you to read Miranda. You don't know.
Yeah,
I
I'm-
picked that particular moment.
Yeah, I'm not in his brain, so that's a fair assessment to say that that's why he asked me to read it. But since he's the one training me, whatever he tells me to do, I do. No questions asked.
Okay, so you don't really know why. You just know at that particular moment he asked you to read Miranda and you did.
Yeah, yes, sir.
All right. No.
You did testify at deposition that you read Miranda because of that fact, that you had determined another victim, though, correct?
Yes, ma'am. If that's what the deposition says, yes, ma'am.
All right, you could step down. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
See release at
He
this
is now
time.
released. Thank you so much for waiting.
All right. All right, we'll be in recess.